Hi Garth Gang, and welcome back to another Path of Exile video. This is the promised chaos recipe tool video that I mentioned in my in one of my endless heist videos. So all we do in here is we go into your browser. I use Google PoE chaos recipe tool, and it is the top one. So you click on there to go to GitHub. From there you just scroll down, download the click on here, and that will download the program, and you just run the program. I'm not going to do it because I've already downloaded mine, so I'm just going to close this from there. Once it's downloaded and installed and you've got it open, you should be met with this feature. This is how to set it up. So first of all, you're going to type in your account name here, then your PoE session ID. The easiest way to do that is to log into another browser for Path of Exile and press F12. That'll bring up another screen. I'm not going to press it because that'll give you my session ID and you can then log into my PoE. So no. So you go in there and it'll bring up another screen, and you're looking for PoE SESSID, and then to the right of that will be another column with a whole string of letters and numbers. If you left click on that line, you can then left click and hold and drag your mouse across that line to highlight it, and then Control C to copy. Come into your chaos recipe tool, click in here and paste, and then that should have the correct session ID. If it isn't the correct one, when you hit run overlay, it'll come up with a message saying unable to log in, and you'll need to do it again. If it still doesn't work, you can either reach out to myself or you can reach out to another content creator such as Balamage, and they should be able to help you. Path of Math is also uses the chaos recipe tool, and he's the one that brought it to how good this tool was a couple of leagues ago. I think it was last year. So I suggest reaching out to one of us three, and we'll be able to help you and sort out your session ID. Leagues, these are all now defaulted on a drop down list, so if you're playing in any of the GGG leagues, as you can see here, there's a list. You can just click on the drop down box and click on the league. If you're in a private league, then you just click on the custom league, and then you can hand type in whichever league you're in. I'm just going to click off that. Here we've got a whole load of different options, so we need to click on chaos recipe and fill greedy mode. I never suggest doing the old exalted child recipe. It is horrible, and as you see the note there, it's not fully functional either. And the regal recipe is honestly, it's easier to buy them from trade if you need that many regals. Unless you're an SSF, then go for it. Don't include the identified items. That will significantly drop the amount of chaos you'll get. Full set threshold, that's how many sets the tool will look for. So to make a chaos orb, you need 2 weapons, 1 helm, 1 body armor, 1 gloves, 1 boots, 2 rings, and an amulet. I say 2 weapons because the default to the recipe is these one-handed 1x3 weapons, daggers, etc. So you have 2 of those. You can use 2-handed weapons such as staffs, bows, or one-handed and shields, but that takes up a hell of a lot of room in your quad tab. So its default is to just use all these 1x3 one-handed weapons. As you can see, I've got some left over from the last time I did it. All un-ID'd, and that's the way they need to stay. The reason they're un-ID'd is because it doubles the amount of chaos. You hand in a full set, rather than getting 1 chaos, you get 2. When I do it, I do 10 sets, because I can then fit in 2 whole sets. If I put my portal scrolls away, I can fit 2 whole sets in this tab, leaving 2 space for my chaos orbs to generate in, and I can just then rinse repeat, and I'm just doing and then handing it in to the vendor that is right next to my stash. I'll show you. Okay, so I've got Lily sat there, so I hold down Control, click on Lily, and I can vendor everything, and the chaos will go back in here, and it's really quick, really easy. So that's why I have it on 10. Stash tab mode I set to ID, and then you put the tab you want to use for your recipe on the extreme left as the first one, and then I always use a 0 for the identification, so I'll then just put 0 there. You can use whatever you like. Don't use this feature if you're running chaos recipe in a map. Don't do heist. It's easier and quicker, and because then you can buy whichever recipes you need, especially if you're doing endless heist, you can manipulate what you're after. So if you want armor, you're running deception contracts. If you want weapons, brute force. Currency obviously is lockpicking and agility. Excuse me. What else have I got up here? Yeah, that's it. Oh, and demolition is generic, but also has armor coming out of the smaller boxes. So they're the ones you're running for heist. If you're heisting, if you're running maps, good luck. I hope you do well. I don't suggest it. You can also run this through blood aqueducts. It works there. But again, the drops are very random. So this is why the only reason I use the Chaos Recipe tool is when I'm running endless heist, level 59 to 60. It's easily targetable. So yeah, that's my thought process behind that. So don't click on this if you're running heist. It's too slow, and if you're running maps, you really shouldn't be. Log location. It's wherever your Path of Exile game is installed. So just find that and then go into the logs, and it's client.tex as you can see on the screen. Language, whichever language you want it in. Obviously English is mine. That's personal preference. Again, these will be, I think these are blank when you first download it, so pick 3 keys you want to use, preferably ones you don't use in PoE. And then your sound notifications, again, personalize that. Into overlays. Excuse me. This will set your overlay. So there we go. That'll set how that works. And there's more here. So this is the colors that everything will drop from. You've got advanced or standard. So you've got loads of preset colors there. If you want advanced, you can pick your own color by manipulating the 4 random colors here, or you can just slide the scale. The colors here will match the colors behind the black, and that black comes from the background color here. So if you change the ring color, it'll change on the rings here, and then that will change what color it drops on the floor when you're collecting your items. So make sure it differs to whatever your loot filter is running. Talking of loot filter, you need to make sure you click loot filter manipulation and then find your loot filter. You can't use this if you're subscribed to a loot filter. The difference on loot filters are, if you're subscribed and you come to your loot filter, it's blue. You'll have to download a specific filter to your hard drive, and then they'll be in these colors here. So that you can only use these with the Rails recipe. You cannot use those ones, because the recipe tool looks for the folder on your hard drive. So you need to have that downloaded from Filterblade. If you don't know how to use Filterblade, again, reach out to a content creator. Most of them know how to use it. Or reach out to Neversink himself. He's a helpful fellow. He's him and his team are the one that own and run Filterblade. So yeah, reach out to one of those. They'll help you sort of figure out a filter. There's many YouTube videos on how to design a filter. Some of them are out of date, so just be careful. Always active. So if we click the fetch button, it'll now reach over to my stash tab. It should do. There you go. And it tells you how many of each. So I've got 2 boots. 1, 2. I've got 4 weapons. 1, 2, 3, 4. 20 rings and 23 amulets. Now, for me, I'm collecting 10 sets. So for 10 sets I need 2 rings per set, so I need 20 rings. If I unclick this and save settings, stop, run, there it is. You can hear that little click, right? So that means I've collected all the rings I need for my 10 sets and it's disappeared. Then we reload the filter and it will reload your filter and remove rings from showing up. So every time you click on fetch after you've put some more items in your stash tab, then you need to make sure you're running that updated loot filter. For example, I'll now take out the weapons. I'll wait for the fetch bit. There it is. Right, so we fetch again. It hasn't updated. Sometimes it'll do that. That should say 0 weapons because there's no weapons in there. It's just a delay between the app and the API. So just wait a few minutes. While we're waiting for that, let's look at this again. So the other thing we need to worry about, I'm just going to reset my settings, is to make sure that this is up to date. Obviously every time you log into it, it'll check to see if it's updated. Most people only use this at the beginning of the league when exalted orbs are quite cheap and other things are quite cheap, so they're league starting with an endless heist runner, or they're league starting with a heist runner and then they'll do the chaos recipe as they go through the heist. Right, the fetches button is back, so let's see if it's going to work now. There we go. So it's received our 20 rings, but it's still not showing up the fact that our weapons are out, which is strange. I don't know why that is. There you go. It's loaded the correct filter and updated it. We'll wait for the... it's a feature I don't like. You can't keep spamming the fetch button, so we're just having to wait for that. You can't change this colour either. And I know it's white. There's no way to turn it to dark screen mode, so that's an issue as well. It's very bright in my eyes as well. Right, let's see if this is going to update again. There we go. It's finally registered that we have 0 weapons, which is what we've been wanting to do for the last 5 minutes. So every time you take something in or out, I mean ideally what you need to do is just leave them in here until you've got enough to handle your chaos orbs in, or your full recipe. So all of these are done. So we'll just reload that filter again and we'll bring back the chaos recipe. So the idea by clicking always active is it'll keep making you pick up, in my case, rings and amulets. So I've always got plentiful rings and amulets to hand in. They're the rarest drops usually outside of heist. Inside a heist, excuse me, run lock picking contracts. Sometimes it'll be currency, other times it'll be jewelry. If it's jewelry and you need jewelry, open them up, and you'll, same with deception, they can be jewelry sometimes, and hopefully you'll get some jewelry, rings, amulets or belts to finish off your recipe. That's about it really. That's how to use it, that's how to install it. GitHub is the place to go to get it. I don't think there's any other things I can run through. I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah, just I can't stress this enough. Once one of these has disappeared to tell you you've got enough, reload the filter. When you hand in all your items to get your chaos, reload filter. I keep forgetting, and the amount it makes me run more heist, which obviously is time waste. Hopefully this video has been of interest to you and helps you earn some more chaos in when you're running endless heists. I'm not sure if this works at level the 66 to 67 endless heist, because I don't run 66 to 67. I only do 59 to 60 on my heist character. So let me know. Hopefully you found this interesting and it helps you out there get some more chaos by running heist or other stuff. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day. See you in the next one.